It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. It is time for your favorite two sweet wrestling podcast. Here, I'm your host, JC. We have JMANzLEGIT and making his two sweet wrestling podcast debut, Mr. Eric Lima. How you doing?
I am doing well, sir. This is an honor to be a part of this podcast and talk wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan since 1991 on a full-time basis. You know, grew up watching Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, the cartoon and all, learning a little bit more about it. And I'm honored to be here, and it's going to be a great podcast. I can guarantee you that.
I know I speak.
I know because I'm on here.
I know I can't speak for J-Man, but I can speak for myself. I was glad to have you here. I know that you've been a part of the NXT live reactions over the last couple of weeks, which this week there will not be a NXT live reactions. There will be a WrestleMania 38 live predictions in place of that. And we'll also be doing NXT Stand and Deliver live reactions here. So with that being said, guys, we got hit with some pretty big news just the other day, and that is Triple H has officially announced his retirement from in-ring action. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, age before beauty. So, Eric, you start.
Oh boy! Oh, what a wise guy. Triple H, you know, he has been a big part of you know, not only he was a member of the Clique, but he was also a big part in wrestling when he debuted at first as the Greenwich Blue Blood. You know, I thought a little arrogance comes a long way, but this is the title he first won in the WWE when he defeated Mark Merrill for it due to the betrayal of Mr. Perfect for this championship. And just and all of a sudden now his career took off when he joined forces with Shawn Michaels, and he went through a lot of controversy and for him to make this big impact, and also he's prior to what NXT was all about, and he won a lot of superstars, and I see tweets about him saying thank you, Triple H, and Triple H believed in a lot in this the talent over there. Now the talent is really shined because of him and what he's able to do. So, Triple H is going to be missed inside the ring. Well, he cuts some of the funniest when he cuts promos as a member of DX, he comes up with some funny stuff and funny bits, especially. And just, Triple H is going to be missed inside that square circle because he's brought a lot of matches. He's brought a lot of best out in people, and he's done a lot of things in the WWE. So he's going to be missing that ring, but I'm glad he's going to be spending some time with his family, and that's very important too, besides health. So good on Triple H, and congratulations. We're going to miss you in that ring. Thank you.
As for me, I'm kind of like, well, I was a little bit mixed on Triple H before his in-ring retirement, but until he had that stroke, cardiac arrest, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's when I thought, like the guys went through a lot, both physically and, and all that. But I will say this though, him retiring just around 30 years after his, in-ring debut, like a long time ago, back in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a fitting way to end your career, like the day after your 30th anniversary, But as far as I'm concerned, the best Triple H moments I loved was when he was leading the Evolution faction during the Ruthless Aggression era, when he was having Ric Flair as the legend, another mentor within the group. And then there was, the next generation, which was Randy Orton and Batista. And we all know Batista was pretty much Triple H's last opponent in America in regards to WrestleMania. Now, I would say Randy Orton, but the thing was that match didn't even end in a decisive fall. So I don't really count that match. So I think, Triple H was never the greatest in-ring, technician or all that. But he was really good at his job being a striker and a hitter, and he also knew how to wrestle, even if he didn't look like the greatest of all time, like Jericho, Bret Hart, or Shawn Michaels, or anybody of the sort. As far as I'm concerned, we'll never see that dream match between him and Macho Man because one Macho Man passed away. I mean, and we would have loved to see that feud boil down, considering the rumors.
Exactly.
But I will respect Triple H for what he did, like Eric just said, regarding NXT superstars. And, funny thing is, most of the NXT superstars that were made into like we're like molded into greatness, they're all gone. And you know what they say: whatever Triple H creates, Vince McMahon destroys. But I will give him credit where credit's due regarding him booking NXT and him also being a main event player, especially during that 3-year reign of terror. Jeez, and everything else. Kudos to Triple H for a great career, and hopefully will we see another one like him? Who knows? I mean, I know Seth Rollins, he should have the pedigree back. I mean, since Triple H is now officially retired of in-ring competition, so.
True legend. Black Scorpion says true legend, in my opinion, the greatest career ever, hands down. So I'm gonna run down real quick. Triple H debuted in April 30th, 1995.
In the WWF,
He
right?
episode on a he debuted on the episode of Wrestling Challenge under World Wrestling Federation / Entertainment, defeating Buck Zumoff. Who that is, I have no idea.
I don't even know who that is.
I will say, it also states that his early days of the WWF, his gimmick was a modified version of what his character was in WCW. Not a lot of people remember that.
Oh yeah, Gene Levesque. When he was with William Regal.
Jean-Paul Levesque.
Yes. Let's his legacy since joining the WWE. He was a 9-time WWE champion, 5-time World Heavyweight champion, a 5-time Intercontinental champion, 2-time European champion. He was a 1-time Unified Tag Champ with his best friend Shawn Michaels. WWF Tag Team Champion 2 times, once with Steve Austin, once with Shawn Michaels. King of the Ring 97, Royal Rumble 2002 and 2016. He was the winner of the Road to WrestleMania tournament in 06. He's a 7th Triple Crown champion, 2nd Grand Slam champion, a 3-time Slammy Award winner. He won one for best hair in 97.
Wow.
OMG moment of the year for 2011. The Undertaker kicks out of a tombstone pile driver against Triple H at WrestleMania. Match of the year 2012 versus The Undertaker in Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 28. 28, and WWE Hall of Fame class of 2019 as a member of one of the greatest factions in wrestling, D-Generation X. He was voted for and from Pro Wrestling Illustrated Feud of the Year for 2000, 2004, 2009, 2013. Match of the Year for 04 and 2012. Most hated wrestler of the decade from 2000 to 2009. 2003 to 2005, most hated wrestler of the year. Most hated wrestler of the year 2013 as a member of the Authority. Most hated wrestler of the year 2014 with his wife Stephanie. Wrestler of the decade 2009. Wrestler of the year 2008, ranked number 1 in the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI in 2000 and 2009, and ranked 139 of 500 singles wrestlers of PWI years in 2003. Whew.
That's a resume and a half.
It gets better. So for Wrestling Observer Newsletter, Best Booker for 2015 with Ryan Ward, Feud of the Year 2000 with Mick Foley, Feud of the Year with 2004 versus Chris Benoit and Shawn Michaels, Feud of the Year 2005 versus Batista, Wrestler of the Year for 2000, Most Disgusting Promotional Tactic accusing Kane of murder and necrophilia. Parentheses, Katie Vick. Most overrated from 2002 to 2004 and 2009. Reader's least favorite wrestler of 02 and 03. Worst feud of the year 2002 versus Kane. Worst feud of the year 2006 was Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon, and Shane McMahon. Really? That was the worst one? Come on, I think that was probably one of the better ones of 2006.
Let me tell you something. I know what they're probably going at, but let me tell you something. They're gonna find any way to try and add something to their worst feud of the year candidate. So to be honest with you, it's better not to take them too seriously.
Worst feud of the year 2011 versus Kevin Nash. Worst feud of the year 2013 as a member of the Authority versus the Big Show. Worst worked match of the year versus Scott Steiner at the Royal Rumble. Yep.
Good God Almighty.
That was so bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I will say this though: if we would had the power to go back in time and change all that, yes, we would prevent that match from happening. But the thing is,
in general,
who would be defending the world title? Because the thing is, Triple H wasn't going to give up that title without a fight, both politically and literally.
Yeah, exactly. Worst feud of the year, worst match match of the year 2008 versus Edge and Vladimir Kozlov at Survivor Series. Worst match of the year 2018 with Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker and Kane at Crown Jewel, and Wrestler Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame class of 2005. He's also had other awards and honors for the Boys and Girls Club of America Hall of Fame 2017, International Sports Hall of Fame class of 2015, and Metal Hammer Magazine Spirit of Lemmy Award 2016. My God, that's a resume and more. Triple H has not just in the ring, but behind the scenes, has had some of the best things inside WWE. He's had great matches, great feuds. He's had some bad ones. He's had some questionable ones. To me, his best work is when he's working side by side with DX, shoulder to shoulder. Some of the stuff,
you forget also he is a 7-time main eventer at WrestleMania.
Yes, that as well. I honestly think what he said at the Hall of Fame induction of 2019 is a lot of the DX stuff was pretty much them just trying to make each other laugh, and a lot of it should not have aired. I think it was just made for great TV.
To be honest with you, let me pause you right there. I think it should have been aired. You know why? Because what's the point of being inducted in the Hall of Fame as D-Generation X if you can't act like you usually do as, degenerates?
No, I'm talking about the stuff that they did on live TV back during the Attitude Era. Shouldn't have made TV, but it did, is what he said.
Well, then again, the D-Generation X, what they did back in the Attitude Era, of course you got to be prepared for that kind of stuff because, what they did, they had to do that because they were in a war with WCW.
Yeah. True. Some of my most favorite things with Triple H was a lot of his stuff with DX.
Yeah.
One match that really comes to mind is the end of an era match with Triple H and Undertaker. Because although a lot of people didn't care for the match, the match was overall, the way I look at it, was really great. And the reason why I say that match was really great was because it wasn't the in-ring wrestling that made the match great. It was the storytelling with between Shawn and Triple H, and the Undertaker's willingness to not want to die and not want to go out a loser that night. Overall, great match. Was one of my favorites. His feud with Shawn Michaels in 2003 when they had that unsanctioned match at SummerSlam. I think it was SummerSlam 03, Brock versus Rock. Or was that 2002, Brock versus Rock?
2002.
Yeah.
That match was great. That was great storytelling, which led into the first ever Elimination Chamber. Shawn Michaels winning the World Heavyweight Championship in the Elimination Chamber at Survivor Series that year.
Well, thing is, Michaels wasn't intentionally to win that match, originally. I think from what I heard and what I've done, homework for, was that Triple H was supposed to retain the title in that in the first chamber match, and even as starting and ending the match as the guy that enters and walks out with the championship. And the reason why, he didn't was because of that botch spot that Van Dam did off that, chamber pod doing that 5-star frog splash that connected to Triple H's neck, like his throat area. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why Shawn Michaels was given the title for like a month.
Man, it's just to have such a career and to not be able to go out on your own terms. As a wrestler, I think that has to be probably a real kick in the ass. Because I always saw Triple H, even though he stepped away, but he still had some kind of role in the ring, with specialty matches here and there. He was on a talk show just the other day. I don't know if it was just the other day, but it was posted to the channel.
It was.
He said that they had plans for him to have a match this year at WrestleMania, and I was kind of wondering if it was supposed to be against Cody Rhodes. I'm wondering if that's what they were planning on for, and then they decided to do what they're doing with Seth Rollins. But that's skeptical if that's going to happen with Seth Rollins.
We'll find out Monday.
We'll find out Monday.
Yeah, this is the final Raw before WrestleMania. But the thing is, I don't really think WrestleMania is going to be really that good. To be honest with you, the only match I'm intrigued is with AJ Styles versus Edge. That's pretty much it. Now, other matches I can predict for this Tuesday, but that's what I'm just going to leave right there.
Triple H as backstage presence. I think if it wasn't for Triple H, we wouldn't have had gotten to see the Ultimate Warrior inducted into the Hall of Fame. We wouldn't have gotten Bruno Sammartino inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Triple H mended those bridges. I mean, Triple H had a hand in taking NXT from a developmental show where it was kind of like Tough Enough. And then what they did was they decided to rebrand FCW to NXT, and that's what NXT became. NXT, we saw so many great talent come from NXT.
Sadly, we got to see them go on unfortunate terms.
Some of them are still there. Some of them are still working NXT. Some of them aren't working NXT. Some of them got called up to the roster and let go, main roster and let go. I mean, we've seen some of the greats, some great talent. Keith Lee come through NXT, was recently released a couple months back. Tyler Breeze, Fandango came through there. We had guys, even though that they were already established, guys like Samoa Joe came through NXT, even though he was already established at that point. Sami Zayn, Shinsuke, for Christ's sake, the Shield. I mean, the Shield came through FCW and NXT. The Wyatt family came through through FCW and NXT.
But a majority of what you speak of, except for Rollins and Reigns and every other person, like they're either still with NXT or they were called up to the main roster and they're gone.
Finn Balor, another one, even though he was already established. I mean, and because of NXT, I'll say this, because of Triple H and NXT, fans were introduced to some of guys that they would never have been able to see elsewhere. I mean, you can't tell me that there's a kid right now who's a Finn Balor fan knew that he came from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Same for Shinsuke.
No, you're right. You're
Finn
right.
Balor was the original founder of the Bullet Club.
Exactly. Adam Cole, another fucking great that WWE let slip through their hands.
Oh my God, I mean? Adam Cole. Let me tell you something. There was a part in WWE 2K20, as much as I hate talking about that. There was a part in the story of the My Career mode where they actually had freaking Adam Cole as WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm like, in my head, that should have been for Adam Cole, whether he was on SmackDown or Raw. He should have been established as a world champion because he is main event with the look. He's got the matches to go with it. And Triple H, when it came down to him and grooming him in NXT, he knew who to groom in NXT to help make into a star.
Yes.
But then Vince McMahon, just being the bitch that squandered it. He freaking ruined
Black Scorpion.
He ruined it.
Black Scorpion said, would it have been Cody though if those plans were placed while Cody was still under contract in AEW? Well, the thing was, I think it was up until Christmas, like right around Christmas, Cody was been wrestling with AEW with a no contract, with no contract. He was going back and forth, I believe, with the executives, not the executives, but Tony Khan about a bigger contract for more money, because if he was going to be doing stuff backstage and in the ring, he wanted more money and they just couldn't agree. Um,
Wait. Cody wanted more money?
I think Cody wanted a little more money, from what I was told, and they
Well, the thing
wanted
is,
him.
but he was an executive vice president. I mean, like, he could have gotten more money just by being in that position of power. How could he not get more money?
Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense.
Triple H went into surgery in September. Yeah, I think that with the situation with Triple H, I think at that point there wasn't a severity of what was going on with Triple H, because they didn't know if he was going to come back. And the thing was that after Triple H had the surgery, if you watch the interview, he said that even with the surgery, he wanted to come back and try to work some kind of program in the ring. And that's when they were talking about WrestleMania. But he said that with being that he had had to have a pacemaker put in, he didn't know how we would feel about getting zapped on live TV if he wound up having another another issue with the heart, with his heart. But again, I mean, you never know, because the wheels are always turning with Vince McMahon and with creative and things like that. So you never know. Um, I do want to take the time to thank Triple H for everything that he's done with WWE, and for WWE. I want to thank what he's done with NXT, even though that the NXT that we see now is not the NXT that he helped create.
Yeah, what a mess.
Phenomenal career. I cannot say anything negative. When he was a fan favorite, you loved him, and when he was a heel, he made you hate him. And if you can't get that kind of heat as a heel, then there's something that you're doing wrong. And Triple H was always that top guy
Same.
where he can just grab a mic and say something and instantly turn you into a hater.
I mean,
Um,
like, that is exactly what I was talking about with Britt Baker. You know, like, she's doing something wrong if she's having people, like, you know, do her initials like that DMD shite.
I just think it's just people catching on to something. It was kind of like with Austin, where it was the what, you know what I mean? It's just something that gets caught on. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just the same thing with Adam Cole. He could be a heel, but he's still a fan favorite because everyone does the whole Adam Cole baby thing. So
Well, the thing is, the fans, they better, you know, they better realize that they don't stop doing that, then they're going to be a bunch of lemmings at this point.
see me, I think also on top
And
of everything else
yes,
too.
folks, I want to publicly announce I am being a heel right now.
Alrighty.
Take this for example. Hey, Eric, you suck.
Eric's like, oh well, okay.
So what?
So
Some people
guys,
there's a lot of people that insult me over the years, man. That doesn't even bother me.
See what I mean? That's me being a heel.
so with that being said, guys, we are about to hit the 25-minute mark. So how about we go ahead and we get into the purpose of this video. The
Yeah.
passing of Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, one of the most influential behind the NWO, the NW creation of NWO.
I already did the tribute on R&R, you know, and it was really tough for me. So, like, again, and not only was he a founding member of the NWO, he was also just a member of the clique, the infamous clique within WWF with Waltman, Nash, Michaels, and, you know, who we just talked about, Triple H.
Yes, and so before we get into the talks of some of our favorite moments and matches of Scott's career, I put a little 10 bell salute together in memory of the late great Scott Hall. So please, let's give a moment of silence for the 10 bell salute. Alrighty. So
Hey, yo.
you beat me
You
to
go.
it. So
That's not the only thing I'll beat you to.
so Scott Hall, there's a lot that can be said about his career within WWE. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't know out that was going on outside of WWE. Um, I recently watched for the first time the Razor Ramon documentary WWE put out, well, Life on the Razor's Edge, I believe it was called. Um, there was a lot of stuff I didn't know about how he was helping a friend at a club and he was trying to throw a guy out of the club and the guy reached for a gun and Scott tried to fight him off and the gun went off and the guy blew the back of the guy's head off. It was tried for attempted second degree murder. I did not know that.
I heard about some stories. I just know that at the end of the day, Hall, he did that out of self-defense.
Yeah, it was
Like,
self-defense. He even
like-
said it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying there's stuff that I didn't know about.
I know that. I was just simply, just explaining, and you didn't have to say, like, I'm not saying that you try to kill him at all. Like, I mean, I know what you're getting at. I just think that with a lot, there was more to it than just that, in regards to Scott Hall's life, regards to that, self-defense type of thing.
I know there was a moment on I believe it was on a Nitro. He was drinking before the match, and there was a moment.
Oh my God!
They showed it on live TV where they were trying to calm him down to get him to the back, and he like blatantly just yelled in Kevin Nash's face, like, "Oh, you want to care about me? Where were you when my family was falling apart?" And he's had years of drug and alcohol abuse, and
yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing.
I didn't know about that stuff. I thought that was all storyline. I didn't know that it was actually happening.
If I may explain, this is what also happened. Because of the dirt sheet writers were doing their damnedest to try and make Scott Hall look bad on the internet, and this is when the internet was just starting to become a thing, and look where it's at now.
Fanatic.
And this is also what else happened. Because Bischoff knew this was bad for business, because Hall's drinking and he's not stopping, because after all, he's being on a bender, all right? And, sick as Bischoff's mind was, he decided to make that into a storyline that makes sure to confuse the dirt sheet writers as well as the television audience.
Yeah.
That's why, that's why you believed it as a storyline when actuality it was, but it wasn't. Now, do I think Bischoff was in the right for doing that? No, because if anything, he should have sent Hall into rehab or something. But then again, Hall, he was already on a downward spiral before it even began. So, wait, hold on. Have you guys watched The Resurrection? I have seen that, yes, and I actually have that on iTunes. I've watched it. I love it, and that's basically also about how Scott Hall got rehabilitated. Plus, Scott Hall was mocked by different fake Razor. Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, if you want my personal opinion, the fake Razor Ramon character, that guy right there, I think they just did that just to, get people to think that Scott Hall and Diesel were coming back, because there were rumors at the time that Scott, and I was watching this earlier today, Kevin Nash, he said, and I quote, that he and Scott were actually planning to go back to WWF during the Monday Night Wars after the release of Sean Waltman on WCW.
Yeah, he also said that they didn't. They also stated on the documentary of the Razor Ramon documentary, they also stated that they did not want to leave.
Yeah, they didn't want to leave the WWF, right?
They left because they were getting less money, and they felt that they felt even though that they weren't top guys, they were selling, moving merchandise and stuff, and they felt like that they deserved a little bit more money.
Actually, when you think about it, if you do a lot of merchandise sales and title runs, I wouldn't say you're not being a top guy, because that's what you are. You're being a top guy.
Well, back then, being a top guy was like guys like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you something. Back in the day,
top guys now are completely different.
Let me tell you something. Back in the day, like whether it was the Ruthless Aggression era, Attitude era, or New Generation, if you were like the Intercontinental Champion, you think that'd be a way for you to be the World Heavyweight Champion. But the thing is, that didn't matter, because you having that title is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Because like Michaels and Ramon, they had that great ladder match, which also is part of the tribute to Scott Hall. That infamous ladder match for the undisputed Intercontinental Championship. And then from there on, but prior to that era, we had people like Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior. We had Honky Tonk Man. We had Ravishing Rick Rude. I mean, and the list goes on and on. And we had like a lot of great mid-card champions with the Intercontinental Championship. So again, if it's being held by greats who didn't even need a world title at the time, but still won the world title regardless, I got to say that if you hold that title now, you are considered a top guy. And ignore that while my dog's trying to chase a cat.
So just to talk about some of Scott's accomplishments,
the Intercontinental Championship being one of them, obviously.
Within just in his illustrious wrestling career. So we'll start off with the World Wrestling Federation /E Entertainment. He was a 4-time WWF Intercontinental Champion. He is a 2-time Hall of Fame inductee as individual as Razor Ramon and a member of the New World Order.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I forgot that he was a 2-time member.
He's a 2-time Slammy Award winner. Most spectacular match in 1994 versus Shawn Michaels in ladder match at WrestleMania 10. And then match of the year in 1996 versus Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam.
Wait. 96. No. That was 95.
Oh, it says 95 on the bio that I'm reading.
Yeah, not 96. I mean, like 95 was where SummerSlam had the worst main event possible. Not gonna lie.
I think 96 was Undertaker versus Undertaker.
No. 94 was Undertaker versus Undertaker. 96, I think it was Michaels versus Vader.
Yeah, for the time.
Okay.
Taker and Mankind Bullet Room Brawl.
Yeah, and I think Scott and Kev had already jumped ship to WCW.
Yeah,
before that. Yeah,
because that's when the NWO actually formed. Just a little wrestling fanatic. I want to address this, but the fake Razor Ramon also passed away.
Yeah, it was like before Scott Hall did. I believe.
Before
yeah,
Rick Bogart was his name.
Bogart,
not Bogart, not the fighter.
Black Scorpion says greatest, in my opinion, the greatest Intercontinental Champion to never become world champion. I agree with that, and I don't think even in the wrestling business, I don't think you're gonna get any dispute with that. A lot of people said that he's one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions. I think he's one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions. Period. There's a lot on that list. There's a long list of great Intercontinental Champions. He was one of them.
His former tag team partner, Mr. Perfect from the AWA.
He was also one of the greatest of all time to never even win a world championship, but should have. But at the end of the day, I think when you look back on his career, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, whatever you want to call him, he had a good career, both inside and outside the ring, just, outside of the, his demons and all that.
Yeah. WCW, he was WCW television champion. He was a 2-time United States champion. He was a 7-time WCW tag team champion, 6 times with Kevin Nash, 1 time with Giant. And he was on the winning team of World War III in 1997.
Oh my God, World War III. Wait, when was this? Was this 97? What? Why did he get a world title shot? Like, why did he get a world title shot for Starrcade or something like that? That doesn't make any sense.
Because I think wasn't that a team? Wasn't War Games World War III? Wasn't that a the cage match?
No. That was a 3-ring, a 60
60-man
men
battle royal.
battle royal. Yeah, you had 20 men in each ring, and then the last 3 would be all in one ring to find and to throw the last 2 over the top rope to get a future world title match. In fact, if I remember correctly, in '95, Macho Man actually won his first WCW World Heavyweight title in the World War III match. So I'm thinking like they used that kind of match to reward.
That's why. Okay, so this is the reason why. This is the reason why he never got a title shot. Scott Hall won the 3-ring battle royal, eliminating the Giant. WCW World Champion Hollywood Hogan was a participant in the match who joined the match for himself to prevent anyone from getting a title shot. Hall won after Kevin Nash in a Sting disguise attacked the Giant with the baseball bat, eliminated him, and after Hogan eliminated himself by running away from Sting, Hall was entitled to receive his title shot at Super Brawl 8. But Hogan controversially lost the title to Sting at Starrcade. That resulted in the title being vacated and 2 competing in a rematch where Sting won the title. Hall received his title shot uncensored in March where Sting defeated him.
So let me get this straight. But wait, who was the winner in '96? Did that person get a world title shot at Super Brawl or freaking uncensored?
Okay, let's see.
I think it was
looking it up
Giant.
now.
Wasn't it
The
Giant?
Giant won the World War III Battle Royal by last eliminating Luger. So I remember Giant did, if I'm not mistaken, did win, and I think once Hogan came back and turned, no, I think Giant was
the first sold out event, the NWO sold out. That's okay.
Let's see.
There's only a couple matches that were good on that event. I watched it, on WWE Network. But as far as I'm concerned,
96 was Hogan. 96 Starrcade was Hogan Piper.
Yeah, which should have had the title on the line, and Piper should have been world champion. And disagree with me all you want, but I think that the title should have been on the line. This is why I don't like Hogan from time to time when it came to business tactics like that. So sneaky and so stupid.
And then at NWO sold out, Hollywood Hogan versus the Giant ended in a no contest.
I have to rewatch that match because I feel like when they do that whole no contest BS, I feel like there could have been a disqualification because I don't like it when there's I don't like it if there's not a winner and a loser. And besides, and if there's one thing that I do hate in a title match is that if it ends in a countout or a disqualification, okay, that's like lazy. Look at Rollins versus Reigns this year at the Rumble. Need I say more?
TNA. He was Scott Hall was a TNA World Tag Team Champion with Kevin Nash.
Oh my God! No! That was okay. Sorry, I hate to cut you off, but that was the biggest mistake TNA had ever done in the tag team division. I swear to God. Why they put those tag belts on Hall and Nash while Hall was already out of shape. He wasn't in the best physical condition.
Because he was part of the small little faction with Jeff Jarrett.
But still,
at the time.
Wait. No. You're talking about he won the TNA tag titles in 2010 with freaking Nash, didn't he not?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Because I remember Hall and Nash were a part of Jarrett's little faction when Jarrett was NWA World Champion. That's why I got him. Yeah, I got it mixed up. My bad.
Well, yeah, you are bad. But anyway, all I can tell you is this: 2010, Hall was out of shape. He was in the best condition as he was back when he was in his prime, and they shouldn't have. And plus, he was already still going on his drunken benders and all that. And plus, they even released him along with Hall, Pac. And the reason why they released Pac was because I think he tested positive for hepatitis C, but I don't think he has it anymore. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he shouldn't have been winning any title. I mean, he should have been getting rehabilitated instead of, winning titles for no reason.
So we're going to talk about some of his awards as of right now. For Scott Hall was voted by Pro Wrestling Illustrated Match of the Year versus Shawn Michaels in a ladder match at WrestleMania 10.
One of the greatest ladder matches.
Yeah, the still to this very day is still one of the greatest ladder matches. Most Improved Wrestler of the Year for 92, Tag Team of the Year in 97 with Kevin Nash, ranked number 7 of the top 500 wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 1994, ranked 72 of the top 500 singles wrestlers of the PWI years in 2003, ranked 40 ranked number 40 and 98 of the top 100 tag teams of the PWI years with Kevin Nash and Kurt Hennig, respectively, in 2003. Then scroll down a little bit. Wrestling Observer Newsletter Match of the Year: Shawn Michaels versus Shawn Michaels ladder match at WrestleMania 10. Best in 1994. Best gimmick in 1996 as a member of the NWO. The most disgusting promotional tactic in 1998, WCW exploiting his alcoholism in a gimmick.
Oh yeah, I agree with that one. That was a disgusting tactic.
And then
there.
there's a bunch of other stuff. DDT Pro Wrestling, Iron Man Heavyweight Championship. He was a one-timer. And the AWA Tag Team Champion with Kurt Hennig. So
okay.
So all in all, he had one of the best career. He had one a legendary career, and never won the world championship in WWE or WCW. He was a world champion, just not in WWE or WCW.
Well, where at?
DDT Pro Wrestling.
Oh, DDT Pro Wrestling. Well, I don't really count that as a major promotion, but whatever. By the way, okay.
Imagine if WrestleMania had a non-title match in the main event. LOL.
It already has. It was back in It was okay. It happened twice, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It happened with freaking no, not twice. It's happened a couple of times, but just that they didn't have the world title in the main event. As a matter of fact, the first main event of WrestleMania, Hogan, with Mr. T teaming up with him versus Piper and Orndorff, and even though the belt wasn't on the line, because how could the belt be on the line in a tag match? Because that's stupid. Hey, that's a WCW tactic for you. But yeah, it's true. A title, the WCW title was actually decided in a tag team match before. I'm not kidding. I think
David Arquette won it that way.
No, not just that, but I think Savage won his final WCW title in a tag match, I think. Speaking of Savage,
when Shawn Michaels and Diesel, Michaels and Diesel, well, no, that was not WrestleMania. That was the King of the Ring. It was like I forgot what King of the Ring it was, but I think it was the same King of the Ring that had the Kiss for Your Foot match. Diesel and Shawn Michaels were going for the tag team championships, and they had to. It was a double championship match. Diesel and Shawn had to put up the WWF championship and Intercontinental championship, and then the other team they were facing had to put up the tag team titles.
Oh wait a minute! It's in your house. It was a title triple header match. It was Yokozuna, Owen Hart.
Yeah, it had the tag titles, the Intercontinental title, and the world title on the line.
Yeah.
In fact, that was I believe, the first time they had the Intercontinental title in the main event of a pay-per-view.
Well, since SummerSlam '92.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, I'll give you that one. By the way, I want to get this out of the way. Even though they have faced each other in live events, but still they never face each other on television, which I think was a really big missed opportunity. I would have loved to see Randy Savage versus Razor Ramon. Or Scott Hall, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. That never, been a great match.
Even though they face each other in tag matches, free for all, like battle royals or whatnot, but still, they never got to face each other in a singles match on TV. I mean, and WCW even missed that opportunity too.
So we're going to start talking, get into talking about
Wait, WrestleMania 6. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh yeah. Oh, Hogan and
Warrior, champion for champion. That's right.
Nice call.
Yeah.
Nice call.
I
Black
totally forgot
Scorpion
about
on
that
it.
match too.
Black Scorpion's on it. I'm gonna interrupt you guys for a minute because I just got a message from Psycho Mike, who's been watching the show.
And I quote.
And
you see what I mean, folks? I'm watching this show, and it's called EliteJC TV, and I noticed that Eric has the Intercontinental Champion.
Stalker much?
You see that? That's what I mean, folks. The title means nothing. It is worthless. But the HCW championship that I hold, that's the title. That means more than any championship Eric has in his closet. Believe.
You sound like you just came out of the closet, Mike.
Well, thank you, Mike, for checking out the podcast. Welcome.
that guy, he's something else.
And I'll repeat myself if people didn't hear me. You sound like you just came out of the closet, Mike.
So let's get into talking about some of our favorite Hall moments and matches. I have a few of them. First one is one of the first WrestleManias I remember watching, and that is the ladder match between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10.
There's actually another
championship.
There's actually another ladder match I also want to talk about, but I'll let you go ahead.
That was one of my first memorable WrestleManias. Because it was the first one I remember watching.
And the opener. Don't forget the opener with Brett and Owen.
Well, we're talking about Hall and we're talking
I know, but it had the best opener that WrestleMania did. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
But the ladder match, I give that match of the night just for,
it was match of the night, match of the year. Still up to this day, still holds up as to one of the greatest Intercontinental ladder matches of all time. There has been some that were great, but haven't been as good as that because of the storytelling that went going into that match.
Yeah.
And pretty much one of my favorites. It was the first ever ladder match as well. Let's make sure we put that out there. Was never done before inside of a wrestling ring, as far as I know, to that point. So for WWE to do something like that and then still continuing to do that to this day, and we've had many, 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 many great ladder matches since then. But that was one of my favorites. We also I have a little list here. Then my second favorite Hall match is / Razor match is SummerSlam 95. Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental Championship. In a rematch.
Yeah.
I believe it was the same outcome too. I think Shawn won the second one.
Shawn won the second one. There should have been
the second one.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. There should have been a third bout between them in that same match. There should have been. That way you had the trifecta.
Yeah, best of three, man.
As much as this was one of the on the list of one of the worst WrestleManias, this was it was an Intercontinental Championship match. It was Razor Ramon versus Jeff Jarrett.
Oh my
ended
God!
in a no DQ, but this was still one of my favorites because you had
no DQ.
Yeah, and he defeated Jeff Jarrett by DQ.
Oh, DQ. Oh, by DQ. I thought you said like no DQ. Like
I think it was 1, 2, 3.
No, by DQ. Or something. And it's funny because Razor had the 1, 2, 3 kid with him at the ringside, and Jarrett had the roadie, which is funny because he had a member of the Clique, and Jeff Jarrett had a future DX member,
and a New Age Outlaw tag team,
and a New Age Outlaw as well. This we could talk about until this could be talked about until the Blue in the Face to the Cows Come Home. Scott Hall debuting on WCW May 27th, 1996. Now,
was that the first time they went from 1 hour to 2 hours?
That was the first night that he appeared on WCW, and he came out and he said that you want to go to war or stuff like that.
Yeah, well, actually, that wasn't technically his first appearance in WCW. I mean, he appeared there before, just not as Scott Hall, I don't think.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, wasn't that the night when Nitro went from 1 hour to 2 hours for a weekly basis?
No, I think it was 2 hours before he even showed up.
Well, if that's the case, then let me tell you something. If that was the night for when they switched from 1 hour to 2, I would say that would have been a great debut to have. But the thing is, I didn't like the fact how they had to interrupt a match without a winner or loser again.
One of the reasons why I picked this moment was because it was the start of something that we never saw. Is because at this point we still thought that Vince had it was played out that Vince had sent Scott Hall into WCW to invade, and they continued that storyline all the way until Bash of the Beach '96, and they started the New World Order.
Didn't they say about the same thing with Lex Luger when they had it on the first Nitro?
I think so. And and the thing was too was that it was such an iconic start, because who would have thought that the first shot fired in the Monday Night Wars was Scott Hall debuting on Nitro, and then a couple of weeks later Diesel then showed up, and then a couple of weeks later after that they had Bash at the Beach, and Hogan was revealed as
my God,
third member of the NWO.
Hogan's
or at that time they were still the Outsiders.
Yeah, they were still the Outsiders. Hogan himself, that was his second year with the company too, and he was wasn't he okay, let me ask you something. Wasn't he like the John Cena of that era where he got like mixed to negative reactions in WCW?
He was booed, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the NWO thing just took off, and it was like almost like he was like kind of like with Britt Baker and Stone Cold, where even though that he was a heel, he was still being cheered like crazy.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, that when I think Jordan had to be muting himself for just a second. Scott Hall, I'll tell you what, when Scott Hall came back to WCW under his real name on that Nitro, it just changed everything that is pertaining to wrestling, and and it jump started. Many people say, "Well, credit ECW for the Attitude Era," but but the Scott Hall and the Click had something to do with the Attitude Era as well. The way they address things, and everything else. And
yeah, true.
And just I personally think that Scott Hall and and the Click basically transcended the business.
If anything, the Click took over the wrestling business in both companies without even being an ECW too.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing too. That's another thing too, because Hall and Nash were doing their thing in WCW. Michaels and Triple H were doing things in the WWE.
Well, they did their thing in WWE for a short period of time. Like Michaels was only like 2 years, away before his last match in the WWF against Austin, and how Triple H is. He had to lead DX along with Pac and Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, which kind of reminds me of one thing. The only thing that I believe regarding Scott Hall, when it came to his first appearance, people may say that was the first shot, but was it really? Because let's be honest. Don't you think, the first shot would have been made once Hogan had went to the WCW? Because the thing is, that was their top star. And the only reason why they signed, Hall and Nash over was because, one, WCW had more money than WWF at the time. And on top of that, Nash and Hall, they even changed the business to a point where people to this day get guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So, again, there is no ifs and buts about it who made the first shot. But when we look at it with Scott Hall and Nash, they're the reason why wrestlers to this day get guaranteed money. And, and I think Nash said it best, during that promo against CM Punk in 2011, the night after SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah, I think I think what jump started what is that curtain call.
The curtain
incident.
call, yes. Oh my God.
The curtain call incident that basically started the whole thing.
And who wasn't there? The guy who we just talked about a while ago, Triple H.
Yeah.
And then on top of this, my last favorite moment, was Fall Brawl 96 War Games, Team NWO versus Team WCW. And there was the two reasons why this was one of my favorites. Reason number one, it was the first time I ever saw a War Games match, and I was hooked. I remember my buddy bringing me the. I remember my buddy bringing me the VHS tape because he recorded it, and he brought it to school the next day. He's like, "Dude, you gotta watch this match. It's the War Games. It's a double cage. It's 2 rings, double cage." And I'm like, "Okay, as they say no more, I'm gonna watch it." And I fell in love with the War Games match.
The
second reason why I love this match is because there was also another storyline happening within this match. Was Sting.
Oh yeah.
People were questioning. NWO set Sting up to make it look like he was joining the NWO, and Sting felt that the WCW had turned their back on him, and the fans turned their back on him. So when the fake Sting came out, and then he came out, he did what he did, and then he left. And this was the beginning of the Crow. This was the first major step into the Sting that we have now, the Crow Sting,
the one we're seeing right now to this very day, with his hair not being black or being long as it used to be, but you get the drill.
Yeah, exactly. So that was another one of one of my favorite Hall moments. And then, I mean, there's so many things that have happened with Hall. I could say the
hold on, Black Scorpion just said this, and the Crow, that was Hall's idea, for Sting.
Then we had Hall having a hand in the ending of Goldberg's streak.
That reminds me, I was going to talk to you about the other ladder match that I liked with Scott Hall, and the match that what you just said right there, the Taser Starrcade 98. That also led to a Taser, ladder match, like a ladder match with a Taser, being hanging over the ring between him and Goldberg, which to me, I think that was actually a pretty good match. I mean,
it's still not the best match in WCW. We had Judy Bagwell on a pole. I'm just saying.
Oh God.
By the way, Vince Russo, you will acknowledge me in that live chat. Trust me. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I know I'm a dick. As far as I'm concerned, regards to that ladder match, I think Scott Hall and Goldberg, the way how it played out, Goldberg was not, in his prime to give out a 5-star performance because he wasn't fully trained with guys like Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels or Ramon, But however, at least Scott Hall was able to help out, to prolong the match with the no disqualification variant, which made the match good. And on top of that, the Taser, even though it wasn't a title or not, still got to give them credit where credit's due. They made the match look good.
Yeah. Then I'm going to add a couple extra moments to my list. The return to WWE in 2004. Was
no,
it?
No,
2002.
2002,
which led to Stone, even though that wasn't a good match, Stone Cold versus Scott Hall. Then we also had him being inducted into the Hall of Fame as Razor Ramon, and then him being inducted into the Hall of Fame as one of the members of the NWO. And
can I say something real quick?
Yes.
There's one thing that I never really there was one thing about the WrestleMania match he had with Austin. When I was, watching some YouTube videos like wrestling bios and all that,
yep,
it was said that that Scott Hall was, not, sober during WrestleMania week and all that. And you know what? And that's why I'm like, well, whoop-de-doo. I mean, like, what do you think? But however, Austin, he actually told McMahon to make sure that Austin would win and Hall would lose. But then again, Austin was originally going to win anyway, so he wasn't really trying to play the world's smallest violin. I mean, Hall was going to lose. But here's the bottom line: Austin was originally booked to face Hulk Hogan or Hollywood Hogan, whatever you want to call him, at WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, who was Scott originally going to face? Or even better, who was Scott and Nash going to face if it was a tag team match? Was Scott going to be facing The Rock because they both wear elbow pads? Or were they going to have a tag match and Rock was going to have Mick Foley for one more night only? Or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, we'll never know what had happened if Hogan and Austin's egos didn't clash. But as far as I'm concerned, Hall, I'm not going to say Austin was his greatest opponent in that match at WrestleMania, but the one they did have after Mania was actually pretty much better than the one they had at Mania.
So those are some of my favorite moments of Scott's career. What, Eric, what are some of your favorite Hall Razor moments?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was watching the bumbling bozo since Mike got me. I'm trying to get him back in the chat. One of my favorite Razor Ramon moment would have to be when he turned face against Money Incorporated.
Yeah.
Because when the 1-2-3 kid beat him like that, then he was known as a kid. That was the biggest upset that kind of changed everything changed Razor Ramon and protected his career. Money Inc. berated him, made fun of him. And I remember when the 1-2-3 kid faced Ted DiBiase and Razor came out, distracted him. And Ted DiBiase's like, I'm going to teach you how to count. And then as he's like doing that lax cover, and then 1-2-3 kid ended up schooling him up and pinning him. And I will never forget the promo he cut. It was a great promo after he was laughing at Razor Ramon.
Wasn't it 93?
Yeah, it was 93.
Okay. Can I ask you this? From that day on, after, with his rivalry with Money Inc., he never turned back into a heel afterwards until his release, did he?
No, he never did.
Wow.
That was the crazy part.
The bad guy never turning back into a good guy. That's funny.
Because because he knows how to make a bad guy cool. And that's why people liked him, because he was cool that way. And
when he was booed, because after all, I mean, what do you expect from a person that has to play a bad guy, But however, when he turned face, that's when they started liking him.
Yeah, they started liking him a little bit more. And I remember he goes, I got 3 things to say to you. 1, you got B. 2, you got B. 3, you got B. And that was one of my favorite Scott Hall moments. And also as Razor Ramon that same year when he defeated Rick Martel to get his first Intercontinental Championship. That's why I'm holding the title.
Yeah. Weren't they just debuting the WWF logo on the top, on the bottom left corner at that time?
I think so, but I'm not so sure. And I remember
because I was watching some old Raws before the peacock required it, and all that. Well, yeah, that's what I call it, because it's the cock the size of a pea.
Yeah. And I think so. Anyways, when him and Martel co-won a battle royal to decide the match for the vacant Intercontinental title, was Shawn Michaels stripped of it because he was not making contractual obligations with it. Because I remember watching WWE superstars from my TV back in the day. It was from the Central. It was supposed to be a matchup where Shawn Michaels had to defend the Intercontinental title against the Undertaker, and I think he probably got chickened out at that point.
Well, technically behind the scenes, I think Michaels had a bar fight with some men from the military.
I think that was a couple. It was 95 with the bar fight happening in Syracuse.
Well, something happened behind the scenes with Michaels, and at the same time.
That was 95 with that bar fight.
Something happened in 93 where he didn't show up to defend his title. So again,
he was suspended, stripped him of the title. They had a battle royal. Razor and Martel were the last 2 standing. they had a match then the week out, and the next week, and Razor did defeat Martel, which is really really cool.
And that was like when Raw was starting to become a thing on Monday nights before, and that's what I'm going to say right here. Monday Night Raw back then, sure, it was 1 hour, but that was all wrestling was, from time to time. It wasn't 2 hours from, a lot, but when you had primetime wrestling, that was something. But that was just, clips and bits. But however, with that Raw with 1 hour, it was fine because if you were a casual WF fan. But when it switched up to 2 hours, okay, now we're getting somewhere. But ever since it went from 2 hours to 3, the ratings and everything else within it have really gone down the tube.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're talking Scott Hall here, not what ratings and Raw.
No, Hall had a huge, what was a huge factor to Monday Night Raw. I mean, I'm just simply giving out the
Monday Night Nitro as well when he came in May of '96. If I had a funny Scott Hall moment, it would be when him and Kevin Nash teamed up against a couple of porn stars.
Yeah.
And the funny part is when one of the adult film stars who had boobs the size of watermelons, for God's sake, Minka was her name. Bobby the Brain Heenan kind of made. I knew it. It's like I was like, oh, you got Heenan on the mic. And her coming down. He's gonna come up with some quick wits and the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are missing their 2 basketballs. We know what they're gonna. And Tony Schiavone just started laughing. And but
when was this? Which one was this?
It was 99 at the powers that be when I told you.
When Russo and Ferraro were around.
Yeah, and they had like, let's bring the ratings up and something like that. And Scott Hall during that matchup was like all that, and he was hilarious. So yeah, Scott Hall knows how to be funny too. And him and Nash, they were like just brothers, man. They were like the DX of WCW almost. You put those two together if you think about it.
What about when they came out dressed up as the I think it was Arn Anderson?
Oh, the 4 Horsemen, yeah.
Yeah, they came out with the prosthetics on their face.
Oh my god.
And I think I think was it too when I think it was Nash dressed as Sid.
And my lord, that
half
was
the brain and you are half the man. My favorite Scott Hall moment.
You're only half the man I am, and I have half the brain that you do.
And then both Hall and Nash.
And Scott starts pissing himself laughing. I mean, like I couldn't. I don't blame him for laughing.
Yeah, I always never forget the famous GIF that with Scott Hall. You like look around. Because the scary thing, ooh, I'm scared. He's funny, and you know what? He is missed, and he will be missed as always. And I'm glad he's a Hall of Famer, and I like his the Hall of Fame speech that he did. One of my serious Scott Hall moments when he did Hall of Fame speech. I love the quote that he has done. Dreams come true, hard work pays off, dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. And that, that's an inspirational quote to this day. If you decide to work hard for your dreams, you are a bad guy. You are the bad man on the planet, that type of deal. And, him being an inspiration and see him recover from all that. And I'll tell you, and here's another thing about Scott Hall you don't know. Him and The Undertaker, Taker was known under a different name by Punisher Dice Morgan in Japan. I think they were teaming up, and they had a picture of the two of them flipping their middle fingers. And there's another picture of them, and flipping their middle fingers. And this is before Undertaker days, obviously, probably in like early late 80s, around there. And Scott
What's up, Joe?
It had the mustache.
Wait! What are you talking to yourself again, Joe?
No, my buddy's watching in the chat.
Ulrika JoJo. So, what's up? Anyways, and I know Taker was known as Punisher Dice Morgan, and Scott Hall. And then they had another picture with him and and both of them and the smiling Chris Benoit. I don't know if you saw that. There was a picture of that. I'm like, that's rare. And it's Scott Hall has really. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. That's my favorite Intercontinental title.
I got the same belt design, but although I've already shown it on R&R, I'm not going to show it here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let Eric have the spotlight for this one.
Yeah, appreciate it because this is a tribute to Scott Hall because this is one of my favorite titles and Scott Hall's first championship. And I figured I pay respects to him by holding his chat. Yeah, Scott Hall really transcended the business when he started coming to WCW. He said, "You want a war, you got it." And he said, "I got somebody surprised," and he jump started that whole thing. It was a great, it was a great big deal for.
And like like Joe said, it was like people thought he was actually on behalf of WWF.
Yeah,
and he wasn't talking about what would become known as the NWO.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was something. It was something, and just and plus, and also when we heard about him, going through a lot, it just shows us that he's just a human being, just like all of us, and people to judge him and be mean about him to him and all that, it's not cool. But we always wish him the best and keep him in our prayers. But
I was one of those people that judged him. I even said that in my Facebook post. But the thing was, I kind of I misthought about him. That was all there was. I thought
yeah.
Maybe,
some people I think some people do like you do realize and understand he's just a human being like us. He goes through stuff, but we do have respect for him, and Scott Hall is to be missed, and he provided a lot of great moments, great matches. Like I said, him as Intercontinental Champion, him and Shawn Michaels. That's one of my favorite Scott Razor Ramon matches up there. Him and Martel was another for the Intercontinental title, and I remember he captained his own Survivor Series team that same year in '93 when it was him, Marty Jannetty, the 1-2-3 kid. It was supposed to be Mr. Perfect, but Macho Man Randy Savage replaced Mr. Perfect at the last moment, and I thought that was a real cool moment when he had an opportunity. And also, listen, the next year he made captained another team, which he won by himself after Michaels and Diesel got into it, and everybody in the Teamsters got counted out. It was him, the 1-2-3 kid, British Bulldog, and the Head Shrinkers.
Same here, Joe.
Yeah. So those are my favorite Scott Hall.
Wait, I want the old Cena WWE Championship. Wait.
He wants the Spinner Championship.
A Spinner title.
Hey, you know what you remind us of? You remind us of Zach. Speaking of Zach, is he on the toilet again?
No. I don't know. He said that he just wasn't able to make it to the podcast tonight. He didn't specify why, but if he can't make it, he can't make it. I'm not going to grill him about it.
Well, wait, you're not, but I will.
It's funny because the last couple of days, people have been asking me. They'll come up to me and I'll give them like a very razor response, and they ask me they be like, how you doing? They'll be like, hey Joe, how you doing? And I'm like, better than you, Chico.
I will never forget when he debuted in the WWE. I will never forget when he has that the gold chain on his neck. He takes it off before his match and looks at the.
And he says this like, "Hey, if something happens to this Chico, something's gonna happen to you."
When he became face, he never did that, but he did that one. I was watching Superstars one time on a Saturday morning. It was back in the day. Tony Chimmel was one of the guys. He holds it. He goes, "You remember this? Yeah, repeat, man." He goes, "Something happens to the goal, something's gonna happen to me." And everybody's like, "Exactly." No. So yeah, Razor was really cool. He was really cool, man. And
yeah,
we missed.
What are some of your favorite Hall Razor moments, Jordan?
Well, not to think of at the top of my head, but if there's only one Razor Ramon moment that I liked, I really do enjoy the match he had with Bret Hart in the '93 Royal Rumble event. Even though that was his one and only WWF title opportunity, I still believe Razor should have been the guy to win that title. And here's what I think should have else happened. You ready for this? He should have won that title, and then Bret should have later went into the Royal Rumble match. Instead of Yokozuna, Bret should have won the Rumble, and that way that the match at WrestleMania 9 would have been, Razor Ramon versus Bret Hart in a rematch where Bret, would win the title back, and maybe, who knows, they would have a rematch at the King of the Ring, and that would have made the tiebreaker, and I wouldn't have cared who won. I just know that Razor should have been world champion at that time because you built him up to a point where he was looking really good as a bad guy, the bad guy, no pun intended. And then all of a sudden you just you squander it even though Brett got no problems with Brett, he's a top guy, but he's not a draw at that point yet. I mean, they were trying to make a lot of draws at that point, when they were in the 90s. The only people that could draw was people, whether it was freaking Hogan, Savage, and probably Warrior, but that was it. Now, as far as Razor went, you can't help but hurt to try. Just to have a bad guy champion every once in a while. And that's another thing. They should have had Flair, remain champion, because otherwise he wouldn't have left WWF. Even though, yes, he's got good ties with WCW, but that 1 year, reign in WWF, that wasn't long enough for me. I'm sorry. So, yeah. I think my favorite Razor Ramon moment would have to be his match against Bret Hart in the Royal Rumble 93 event for the WWF title. Now, as far as my favorite Intercontinental title match he had, I would have to say, obviously the WrestleMania 10 bout between him and Michaels for the undisputed Intercontinental Championship. And we all know how that's a match of the year candidate, but I think I picture a double match of the night with him and Michaels, and then there's Brett and Owen, no contest. But if there's one funny moment that I think was pretty good, it was obviously Scott Hall. No, Scott Hall. I always keep calling him Scott Hall, but I try to call him Razor Ramon. But then again, that was his real name. But Razor Ramon would have to be Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid in that Crybaby match. That was actually a pretty good funny moment, He literally beats 1-2-3 Kid, gives him, he changes his diaper, literally changes his diaper, and he gives him a bottle on pay-per-view. And I think that was one of the In Your House shows. Oh man. That was pretty funny.
You know what the funny thing is too is about the whole Razor Ramon's thing. Vince McMahon showed him how to flick the toothpick. The iconic toothpick that got flicked all the time
In the camera
was shown by Vince McMahon how to do it.
Yeah. The only one that should be retiring should be Vince, but then again, Triple H, he had to retire too. But hey, no disrespect. Anyway, where was I at again? Oh yeah. So yeah, and yes, one of my favorite WCW moments. Obviously, it's him coming into WCW Monday Nitro when it was already starting its 2-hour, thing, and and he's saying, "You want a war? You're gonna get one." And then the formation of the NWO.
I wish WWE 2K would allow us to have story creation again, like they did in the early, in the WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 and WWE 12, because
and WWE 13 and 2K14.
No, they took it out. I think in 2K.
Well, no. They kept it in 2K14, but when it came to 2K15, they never did it for 2K15.
Oh.
And then following on.
I remember I did the NWO Invasion. I did it for I did a whole 6-month thing for it, and I had
which game was it?
Huh?
Which game was it?
I believe it was when they first they first started doing the Invasion storyline. I mean, not the Invasion storyline. When they first started doing the WWE started doing the storyline creator. So it could have been SVR 11 or maybe WWE 12. It was one of those two that I did it for.
Right.
But I remember I did when they started doing community creations and everything like that. I remember I had I created the first 6 months of the NWO Invasion, and I did everything. I changed up a little bit of the lines and stuff because I didn't want to be, if I uploaded it, I didn't want it to be hit for plagiarism. So I altered some of the lines, but it was the same thing. You had 3 WWE guys going against Hall and Nash. And then instead of it being Hulk Hogan that came out and turned heel, it was John Cena came out and turned heel. And then I did 6 months of that instead of Eric Bischoff getting power bombed off the stage at the Great American Bash. It was John Laurinaitis getting beaten with the steel chair by Hall and Kevin Nash. So I was like, it was almost identical to it, but it was different. You know what I mean? It was like kind of like almost similar but different. And I remember a lot of people when I uploaded the first 2 months and I had done 6 months. And I uploaded the first 2 months and people were like, "Oh my God, like this is the best thing ever." And I went to go upload the next 2 months and my files got corrupted. So I lost everything and I wasn't able to recreate it.
Well, you know what? The only best way you can make a good invasion story angle is if you use 2K14, where you actually have if you actually got the DLC stuff, then yeah, you can. Because I was thinking like this. I feel like if I go ahead and plug up my Xbox 360 and I plug and go into W2K14, I'm thinking about doing a Scott Steiner storyline. Not gonna lie.
You could do that in Scott Steiner. I was gonna say you could probably do that. You could probably find a good Scott Steiner on the community creation and then do universe.
But he's a DLC character. He's a DLC character in 2K14. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I know that. But I was gonna say you can always do that now. You just download them from the community creation.
Well, 2K14. Good thing we were able to download the DLC packs with with NWO and all that. And I'm talking 2K14, not 2K22 out there, people.
2K22 is great. I mean, I haven't had any issues.
I will say that, yeah, and I haven't had any issues either. But I will agree. I will agree with my friend Daniel on one thing. The last thing you want to be doing is profiting off another guy who just recently died for just a downloadable, purchasable content for a video game.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned now, other matches that I like to haul in, I liked Hall basically in a match, basically when he looked at his very best, and not looking at his very worst. I think the best match I think he had, in my view, in '99 was obviously him and Goldberg in that ladder match for the taser, and Sold Out '99.
Yeah.
Now, as for other matches after that, I mean, it wasn't all the greatest, but I do know he was supposed to main event a pay-per-view. I think it was Super Brawl 2000, against Jarrett. Or wait. Who was he supposed to face off against? I think he was supposed to face off against Sid Vicious in a pay-per-view main event for the WCW title.
Who? Scott Hall?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think it was a triple threat match. Let me see this real quick. Let me see right here. Okay. Yeah, it was okay. So he beat Scott Hall. Yeah, Sid Vicious defeated Scott Hall and Jeff Jarrett in a three-way dance, for the WCW World Title, retaining it. Let me see what else happened. I think wasn't this? I think it was Hall's last match in WCW, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the records real quick. Hang on a second. This won't take too long.
Well, right now, while he's doing that, I would like to thank everyone who has stopped by and checking out the stream. I know there's other. All right, Joe. I'll catch you later, bro. I want to thank everybody that has tuned in and made us a part of your Saturday night. I know there's a couple of streams going on tonight.
Yeah, Bubbling Bros is going on right now. I sent Psycho Mike a video message.
I know we got quite a few. Oh
God, it was. It was his final match in WCW. The triple threat match for the WCW title with him, Jarrett, and Vicious. Yeah, that was his final match in WCW before he went off. Whoa, I can hear feedback a little bit. Oh, wait, never mind. But yeah. GTA later, bro.
Gotta go. Yeah, he meant to say gotta go, bro. Got to go. Like GTG.
Well, it says GTA Grand Theft Auto. Listen, you can perform Grand Theft Auto in another time.
I think he went to go hit I think
He types so fast. That could be
he's
it.
at work right now, so he's using his phone. So I think when he put GTG, I
Big
think
fingers,
it changed.
man.
I think
He's
it
so.
auto changed to GTA.
I
But,
feel it. I feel him. I feel him.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. First, WrestlePalooza at Woolies 2. Wait, Scott Hall versus Chuck Taylor. Wait a second. Wait, what? Chuck Taylor, as in Chuck Taylor from Best Friends? Like you beat him for the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal title? What?
Chuck Taylor is one of the funniest wrestlers in the Indies.
I didn't really think that. Like, and this was 2016. Like, I'm starting to question whether or not this was okay. And then there was this final in-ring match at TNA Sacrifice 2010 where he defended the titles against, him and Nash defend the tag title against Jesse Neal and Shannon Moore. Yeah, that was pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
But
what a mess.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who came out. I know there's a lot of streams going on tonight. We're gonna be wrapping this up here shortly. I don't want to tie up too much of your guys' time tonight.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Oh yeah, I had fun too. It was an honor to be here.
I appreciate you being a new member of the Two Street Wrestling
Very
Podcast,
honored.
Eric.
Very honored. Thank you.
Jordan, it's always a pleasure to have you with us and being a part of the
it's a
panel
pleasure
and the show.
It's a pleasure to have me as well.
So this coming week we got a big week in wrestling.
He said
big week. Talking about big week.
We got a big week.
Probably gonna go. What the heck happened here?
So
hey, wait. I just said like, he said coming.
So
God.
For those of you that are used to, for those of you that are used to seeing NXT live reactions on Tuesday night here on the channel, that's going to be replaced this week with a special edition of the Two Street Wrestling Podcast, as we are going to be here with the WrestleMania 38 predictions for both night 1 and night 2. Also,
just to clarify, I'm not looking forward to the whole 2 nights, just the AJ Styles versus Edge match, but I will do my predictions regardless because I have to do my predictions and be tortured by this company, but
and then I know Jordan will have I know he doesn't do Dynamite, so I know he'll have the Rant and Rave show Thursday along with his Rampage reactions on Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have fun on those. It's gonna be a big week in wrestling.
Crap! You stopped for a minute there, Joe. It's like you lagged out for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Friday night, Jordan will be doing his Rampage live reactions.
Yes.
Saturday afternoon, Eric, Jordan, and I, hopefully maybe we'll have a fourth guest. We'll be doing NXT Stand and Deliver live reactions, since I do live reactions for NXT over here. Jordan will be on his channel Saturday night for WrestleMania.
Actually, no. That will be Brandon Martin's channel.
Okay, Brandon Martin over on his channel. It will be doing WrestleMania live reactions. And then I'm sure there's going to be Bumbling Bozos Saturday night after WrestleMania, probably.
It's happening right now, Bumbling Bozos.
So, guys, it's going to be a big week. We got Raw, we got NXT, we got Dynamite, we got Impact, we got Rampage, we got SmackDown, we got the Hall of Fame, we got Stand and Deliver, we got night 1, night 2. That's over
and the night after
30
WrestleMania
hours. That's
Veer
like 30
Mahan
hours of wrestling all week.
And the night after WrestleMania where Veer Mahan's going to make his Raw debut.
That would be something, and I said this in a group Facebook group that I'm a part of. What happens if WWE's been trolling us with Cody Rhodes for the last couple of weeks? What happens if they troll us and Seth Rollins has to face Veer at WrestleMania?
Wait, face who?
Veer
Mahan.
Veer Mahan. Who the hell is Veer Mahan?
That Indian guy that they've been promoting for like the last year and a half and hasn't debuted yet.
Yeah, he says he's coming. They
keep saying he's coming and then he doesn't show up.
Well, here's the thing. This is why I haven't watched Raw in a while, and plus, I don't know why I want to be looking forward to a guy that hasn't debuted yet. It was like with Shelton Benjamin in 2016.
Hey,
he was supposed
Rollins says he wanted a match, so
that could be the match. Him and Veer.
I'd rather have him versus Cody Rhodes, but then again, I don't know what they do with Cody Rhodes up in the WWE. I mean, like if they make it, I'll tell you this now. I met him personally. And it's and I have a Facebook profile picture where it was me and Cody. Okay, he said he hated the Stardust character, so if they put him back in that character, you know he's not coming back. You know that, right?
Well, I don't think they will.
Well, they better not if they don't know what's good for them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens this Monday. We'll see what happens with Rollins. Where they're going to roll with that, because Rollins supposed to have a meeting with Vince McMahon. He said, "I want you to be at my office at 9 a.m. So,
honestly, I'm looking forward to Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee.
You go
Austin Theory, that big-eared beaver.
And the reason why is because I'm never really excited to see celebrities wrestle or see non-wrestlers wrestle. But the thing about McAfee is he had that match with Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver.
I'm going to say right now.
It was actually pretty good.
It was pretty good on paper, but the thing is, I don't think he should have been in that match to begin with. But you know what? I just thought of something. It was still a good match. I just thought of something. Instead of that Veer, whatever the hell his last name is, and not Shane McMahon or Cody Rhodes or whoever with Prodigal Son. What if it was Bad Bunny? I'm not gonna lie. What if it was Bad Bunny? I could just picture that for Seth Rollins.
That would be a good match because Bad Bunny actually loves the business and actually took the time to learn how to wrestle for that match last year. That match that he had. The same thing with McAfee. McAfee loves the wrestling business. He actually went and bought himself a wrestling ring and trained himself.
Yeah.
You think
Randy Orton need Bad Bunny props? When you get props from a third-generation wrestler like Randy Orton, you know you've done something.
It's not a matter of being a third-generation wrestler. It's a matter of being a multi-time world champion and a main eventer.
That too, but still, this is a guy with experience. That's the bottom line. Randy Orton has experience. When you get praise from a guy like that, when you're like your first time wrestling, that's saying something.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with the performances. I only have a problem with the celebrities taking the spots of younger talent that's under contract.
Well, that's what Vince McMahon likes to do, man.
And Vince McMahon can suck my dick.
And
how
about them doing in the afterlife? Sure, a lot of people want to see Vince McMahon croak, but that's
and guess what? Road Warrior Animal, he won't be able to see that because he's already dead. And he said that he would piss on Vince's grave once Vince had died. And it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, that ain't going to
Not even posthumously.
So before this stream gets any more hand,
okay. I'll apologize for the outburst and saying that Vince McMahon could suck my pee-pee. Is that better?
Oh God!
Calm it down, Jordan. Calm it down.
Let's wrap it up. I mean,
all right, guys. So if you guys liked the content and you liked what you saw, don't forget to click the notification bell, click subscribe, so that way you can be made aware when new content is uploaded to the channel. Once again, we'll be back Tuesday night with WrestleMania 38 predictions and back Saturday afternoon with Stand and Deliver. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for those notifications.
Wait, Stand and Delivers on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, Saturday at 1 o'clock.
I did not know that.
No,
now you know.
Wait. So it's on a Saturday afternoon and it's before WrestleMania?
Yeah, before WrestleMania, 1 o'clock. Yeah.
I didn't.
So that'll go off at 4 o'clock, and then the live, and then kickoff for WrestleMania will start at 5 o'clock.
You just said it. Who are you, the Chinese drive-through guy?
Remember when
Goldust had that bad stutter because he was electrocuted? He's like,
yeah.
Talk Eating mushrooms. Use ass.
Hey, Steve, Austin.
Go Power Rangers.
Goldberg,
But now,
Goldust.
just ahead, just the thing. He was talking about GTA. I thought he was at work. He's actually home today. He was asking me if I wanted to play GTA later, and I had to send him a text message to his phone letting him know that I don't have it installed on my PS5 because I don't have room. But if you guys like what you saw, leave your comments in the comment box below. If you are not able to be a participator for the chat, I would like again once to thank Eric for being a part of the Too Sweet podcast tonight and moving forward. Jordan, why don't you take it away?
With that all being said, guys, if you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up. If you missed your chance of live chat, comment down below the replay of this stream. Also, be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when Joe does an upload or a premiere or a live stream like this one at all times. Same goes for Eric Lima, WEML TV channel 77, and yours truly, Jordan Little, JMANzLEGIT. With that all being said, God bless you all. Have a great night, and we'll see you this coming Tuesday for our live predictions of WrestleMania 38 Night 1 and Night 2, and also probably Stand Deliver, with those predictions as well. Now, if you excuse us, we're out of here, bitches. Yeah!
Too sweet.